Hello. So I told myself I wasn't gonna do another video today. I don't wanna be that guy making videos about nonsense, about just rambling. But I said, I'm on my way to Columbia right now. That's about an hour and a half drive. I'm not gonna talk that long. But so I told myself there is one other thing that's been on my mind about Kwame Brown. I'm a big believer in symbols. I think symbols pretty much symbols are like words. Words are symbols. Numbers are symbols, but symbols are pretty much everywhere. And I guess in the sense that everything can be a symbol. Everything. A sound can be a symbol. A word can be a symbol. A cloudy day could be a symbol. If you picture a woman with a sad face, makeup running down her face, walking with her head down, that's a symbol. That's a symbol that she's sad about something. And I've been really big on symbols the past, as I developed as a writer for the past 20 something years. Writers, authors have to be pretty good at manipulating symbols and understanding symbols. So with that being said, Kwame Brown, in my own opinion, I think one of the main reasons why he's literally standing so tall now is because of his physical stature and because he's standing on his words. He's standing by what he's saying. And he also stands as a strong black male. The guy is 6 feet 11, rounded off, 7 feet tall. I never met him. Maybe one day I will. I really wish I could meet the guy because, I can understand everything. I'm not talking about his words I'm talking about his mannerisms, everything. That's my family. Kwame Brown could be my cousin. That's how close I feel to this guy. He's a Geechee to the heart. Everything about him. I mean, he reminds me of my uncle Clay. That's who he reminds me of. Only Clay's only about 5'10". he's not nearly as tall. But he reminds me of Clay. His mannerisms more than anything.
At the next stop sign, turn left.
So symbolism is a huge thing. Right now I'm going to Columbia. I'm coming to a stop sign. That sign means to stop, the red sign. I could be deaf, dumb,
at the stop sign, turn
mute,
left
but
onto
as long as I can see that sign, I know to stop at that sign. So right now, part of the whole Kwame Brown movement is what it is. That whole movement it came about with his beef between Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson and Stephen A. Smith, and then Charlemagne just put himself in the middle of it. I'm still scratching my head as to why he, I think I know why. Kwame said it. He had an interest in the vested interest in that podcast. But it's none of my business, so I'm not going to talk about it. But Kwame, he, it started off as that beef, and he started getting more beefs with people, rightfully so, because Boyce Watkins, Tommy Sotomato, whatever his name is. I think those, people might say I'm doing the same thing, but I'm not calling the guy out in any kind of negative light. I'm not trying to put anything negative on him at all, but, I think those guys had no business bringing him up in this conversation. Plus, he already gave us the pass. He said, if you want to use the content, if you want to speak on me, go ahead, as long as you don't put me in a negative light. So that's what I'm doing. The whole beef started off, or his whole movement started off with beef. I guess you could say it started off the day he stepped foot on the NBA basketball court, because that's the day all the hate
In
started.
1.2 miles, turn left to merge onto I-26 west toward Columbia.
I'm sorry, I should have turned this thing off. I know how to get to Columbia. I just don't know how to get to this one specific place in Columbia. But once we get going here, that noise will stop. That GPS will stop in the background. So my point of this video is to point out and get commentary, get you guys' opinion on his symbolism. He's 7 feet tall, very outspoken, very opinionated, not afraid to speak out, not afraid to speak out against certain groups, go along, get along gang. And I think that in our community, in the black community, and in society right now, in our culture, in the American culture right now, oh my goodness, there's a huge void for the strong male figure.
Turn left to merge onto I-26 west
men
toward
have
Columbia.
been beaten upside the head. We've been getting beat upside the head for at least 10 years now. And I'm for I'm for the female, power of female movement in general. But there's a point when you go a little too far. And right now, a lot of men in this country don't know up from down, left from right. We don't know if we're coming or going. Now, I'm fortunate to know, that I'm not the guy to just go along with every single thing that society tells me to go along with.
For 71 miles, continue straight.
I'm not that guy. In my books, here I go with the books again. In my books, I've actually had some people, I had some people ask me, why do I make the male figure strong? Because in St. Miss Caroline, Travis is actually he's a strong little boy. He's 10 years old. The book starts off, he's 10 years old. And Miss Kathy can vouch for this. He's a strong little boy, and he's looking for a strong black male figure to give him some guidance. Ultimately he finds that in his grandfather and his uncle Ricky. But I have people say, why don't you make a strong female character? And I do. In the book Jaja, the main character is Vanessa, and she's actually a strong female heroine or the protagonist. I don't have any female antagonists, not yet. I just thought about that. I do not have not one book where, I do have some female antagonists, but they're not a main character, But I'm only on my third book. Well, I'm on my fourth book. The fourth one is coming out here soon. I'm sure I'll have some down the road. But getting back to Kwame Brown, he's, as a strong black male figure in the black community, I think he's needed. I think we're thirsting for someone like him, and anyone who can speak with bass in their voice, and anyone can actually call out wrongdoings. We're gravitating to that because it's been missing for so long. I mean, it's been missing for decades. I spoke about a video I put together in one of my YouTube videos about I don't know if you guys remember this particular episode of Good Times, but it's the episode where JJ painted the Black Jesus, Ned the Wino, and in that particular episode, like all the episodes, James always put his foot down. But by the end of the show, everything that was going good somehow turned around, went bad, But James Evans, in that particular episode, he put his foot down. He told Florida, he said, as long as things are going good, we're going to keep this Black Jesus up. And that episode is probably my favorite Good Times episode, aside to the one where JJ got shot. And I'm talking over a lot of people's heads because if you're under 30 years old, you may not even know what Good Times is. My kids all do, but you know, Good Times is one of the few black sitcoms we had on TV back in the day, and I was fortunate to see the reruns. I was too young to remember the original Good Times. I think that started in the mid 70s. I was born in 76, so I might have seen some of the originals. I think it went off in like 79. I'm not sure, but James Evans, that's the point I'm getting at. Senior. He was a strong African-American male on television. And ultimately what happened with James is that the real man, the real person, John Amos, he was having conflict with the writers on the show because they wanted buffoonery. And getting back to symbolism, John Amos knew exactly, I think his name is John Amos, I'm pretty sure it is. He knew what a symbol of a black male strong symbol, he knew what that symbol meant to the African American culture. And so he wanted to focus more on, you know, positive things, and him being strong and not a bumbling buffoon and not always getting laid off. And he wanted to focus on a more refined, uplifting, righteous character. And ultimately, he got fired for that, but he put his foot down. And then he got the role as Kunta Kinte in Roots. So I mean, he went on to bigger and better things after Good Times, but who knows how things could have turned out for us, because sitcoms, I mean, they call them TV programs for a reason, television programs for a reason. These shows, and I know a lot, I'm not telling you guys anything new. I know the majority of you guys are woke and all this stuff. And I'll bring it back to my books for all the people that don't want to hear. Television programming is exactly what it is, what they say it is. It's programming. They're telling you straight up, we are programming you to think the way we want you to think, you know, for financial gain, for advertising reasons, and to keep you in a certain mindset. I'm trying to adjust my AC. So now if James would have remained a strong character, then you may see more strong black men in the community now. If you know, I'm kind of cringing thinking about this, but I gotta say it. The Cosby Show, the symbolism with that show, the symbolism that came with that show was so powerful. And then you had A Different World after that. I mean, they did studies and they found that, you know, with that show on, the enrollment numbers for HBCUs went up like tremendously, because they tied it into the fact that young black kids, high school kids, middle school, these kids were looking at other black people on TV going to college, pursuing a higher education. Symbolism. It all comes back to symbolism. So that's why I had to make this video, because it was, I made a video earlier this morning and it was a short video, but I had to come back and say something about symbolism. Kwame Brown these days is saying, he's talking a lot about the he's talking a lot about the family unit, the black family unit. That's a powerful thing. But not only the black family unit is a powerful thing, it's a powerful symbol. The family unit in general is a powerful symbol. Man, woman, child. Now, I'm not talking against gay marriage and all that stuff, but I am talking against promoting single moms and saying, you know, it's okay. If that's what is in your life, and that's how it is, and you can't change that. That's how things turned out for you. Then so be it. But I'm not gonna say to women, go out and get pregnant and have babies and don't even worry about a husband or a man or a partner or anything. I'm not gonna say that. But you have people out there these days promoting that stuff. That's another symbol. That's another symbol. And you know, what is that saying? Family is not important. It's not important to have a mom and dad. You know. And I can go on and on about this for days and days, man. I mean, the whole symbolism and how all these things tie in together. But you know, I'm not gonna bore you guys to death. I will plug my book one more time. One of my books, Mech. Ultimately, Mech. It's a fantasy book about 5 black superheroes that go back in time to save a family out of slavery. I said poverty the first time. It's slavery. They actually go back to a slave plantation to save a specific family out of slavery. That book, I would say the main topic in that book, or the main point, is promoting family, because the family gets separated, and just like one of the scenarios I gave yesterday, you know, dad goes here, mom goes here, the kids, it's 2 daughters. The 2 daughters, they get separated and the family is broken apart. So in that book, I'm symbolizing bringing the family back together, you know, bringing them back together by any means necessary. Even if that means going back in time, killing slave owners and burning down plantations. You know, I do tend to have a lot of blood and gore in my books, but it's all for good reason. All for good reasons. I got to thank you guys again, man. I'm getting a message here. What is this? Somebody said, we rocking with you. Hope Manny Moore. I'm getting a lot of love on YouTube, and this is all new to me. I'm not new. I'm not used to getting any kind of love. I grew up, I'll be honest with you, I grew up in a house where we had 2 books. We had the Holy Bible, King James Version, and we had the P Encyclopedia. That's it. 2 books. I can tell you a lot of things about the letter P. You know, you might be laughing, but I'm being completely honest right now. Nobody in my house read. I read my first book when I was 15 years old. I'm not lying to you. 15 years old, I decided to read a book one day. I decided to read a book. The whole book, not just part of the book and skip through it. No, the entire book from beginning to end. The book was called The Secret of Gumbo Grove by a lady named Eleanora E. Tate. The Secret of Gumbo Grove by Eleanora E. Tate. And I would save this story for another day, but this is a story that you won't believe. This is a third eye Geechee type thing. I read that book when I was 15 years old. It took me 3 weeks to read it. It's only like 250 pages long. And my first book, Saving Miss Caroline, I wrote that book, like I said, in about 6 weeks. But then I had no idea about editing and all this stuff. So I reached out to Miss Eleanora. I found her email address, and I reached out to her, and I told her that the first book I ever read was her book, and she replied back the same day, and we developed this friendship. So one day, then I found out that she was an editor. She was working for this company out of North Carolina. It's a writing company. But long story short, I found out she was an editor. So I asked her, I said, I wrote this book. You are partly the reason why I'm writing. Would you do me the honor and edit my book? So she edited my book. she edited Save Miss Caroline the first time. I have several edits now, but she was the first one to edit that book. And it's my first book edited by the person who wrote the first book I ever read. You know, that was and still is unbelievable to me. And you check that book out too. I'm promoting everybody. You know, Miss Eleanora E. Tate. She, I hadn't spoken to her in a while, but I think she's on Amazon. I'm pretty sure. The Secret of Gumbo Grove. And another thing about the book, that book, I had no idea that the book was it was based in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I had no idea. I just picked up any random book I saw in the library, in the school library, and I just started reading it. And then, about 3 or 4 pages in, I realized there was a story about South Carolina. So that was another one of those synchronistic things. Those things happen to me all the time. Man, I tell you, I got a new subscriber just now. Getting all these messages as I'm making a video. So I got something else, another subscriber. Wow, this is awesome. This is awesome. Yeah, I'm on my way to Columbia. About 76 miles away. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go now. I'll post this video when I get back home. Still appreciating all the love, all the comments. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe, hit the notification button or whatever you have to do. Whatever you want to do. I'm not forcing you to do anything. But I do have some things to say. And I do have a lot to write about. So if you're a reader, if you know any readers, go ahead and send them my way to writethisway.com. WRITEDISWAY. Y'all have a blessed day. I love you.